wanted to introduce our speakers. We are, as usual, very lucky to have people donating their time to come and talk about how we can end HIV. The first person I'd like to invite up is Andy Moffit, who is the first gentleman of Rhode Island. Andy is a passionate advocate for the health and happiness of Rhode Islanders, and we are very lucky to have him speak with us today. So let's give him a warm welcome.
It never fails to kind of inspire giggles when I get introduced as first gentleman, so it's a nice kind of segue. As I've often said to folks, what benefit of being the first gentleman, despite initially being the real challenge of not being known, not really knowing what people should call me, is I don't have a job description, so I get to pick areas that I care greatly about to try to help a little bit, and health and well-being of Rhode Islanders is one of those causes. So it's a real privilege to be here today with all of you in this important community here at the organizing it and bringing it all together. One of the few official duties of First Gentleman is to bring proclamations. And so I have, with the power invested in me, and actually power invested in my wife, the governor of the great state of Rhode Island, I wanted to share the proclamation that today in the great state of Rhode Island is World AIDS Day 2016. So we'll pass this on. So World AIDS Day inspires a whole series of emotions to me. One, of course, is loss. Like, it's important that we're surrounded by quilts, our memories of people who are not with us today because of HIV and AIDS. Their brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles, friends and co-workers. They're not with us, so that motivates, and that kind of their memory should live on, and we need to always pause to remember that. So I'm grateful that, and I've just learned that the quilts also the quilts nationally had a unique history here in Rhode Island, so it's important that we commemorate their loss and our loss. Second is hope. The state's motto is hope. We've come a long way in 35 years in dealing with this illness and this disease. If you think about the challenges that people faced 35, 40 years ago at its inception, the indifference, the lack of understanding, the bigotry of some, let many people really suffer while famously the band played on. And so we've come a huge way due to committed advocates like you, to committed healthcare professionals like Dr. Alexander Scott, my friend Paul Purdy, and many others here who are committed to helping end HIV as cures. And so I'm hopeful about the progress we've come, but recognize how much farther there is to go. And third, I'm inspired by those who live with HIV and AIDS every day. The daily struggles and victories of overcoming obstacles big and small, should be inspiration for all of us to continue to overcome to whatever challenges we may face and recommit to helping find cures for this illness, disease. So my wife Jean is committed to making every day to making sure Rhode Island is a place for everyone, where no matter where you came from, what you look like, or who you love. Everyone deserves the opportunity to make it in Rhode Island. But despite the progress that we've talked about, there are obviously still discrimination and stigma that must be addressed, given particularly those who are living with HIV. So Jean has put HIV front and center. You're going to hear much more from Dr. Alexander Scott and others about the 90-90-90 campaign, which to me sounds like a wonderfully focused, thoughtful, and really compassionate approach to ensuring a more healthy Rhode Island. But I wanted to share a message from her, and I guess from me as well, which is, we have your back. We're with you. The HIV/AIDS community of Rhode Island is Rhode Island, and Rhode Island is stronger because you are Rhode Islanders. We know there's fear in many parts of different communities, and that won't change in some cases, but we know that we must persevere, we must be committed to helping one another, to being inclusive, tolerant, and more than that, accepting. Rhode Island was founded by a group of people who were cast out. And so we need to make sure that we continue to embrace the diversity that Roger Williams initially saw Rhode Island in all of us. So on World AIDS Day, thank you for your commitment to this effort. We're going to make continually next year even more progress. And it's a real pleasure for me to share a little part of it.